Ark Peace arrives as part of Mission Harmony 2018. World Population Day focuses on family planning. And Wafi Golpu Project Stakeholder Consultative Forum begins.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. Docked at Steamships Harbour in Port Moresby, the Chinese Navy hospital ship Ark Peace is in the country for its second visit. The Navy hospital ship was welcomed this morning by members of the Disciplinary Forces, Foreign Affairs and Port Moresby-based Chinese community. The vessel will be in the nation's capital until the 18th of this month to provide free medical services to city residents and the Chinese community.
Ark Peace docked in Port Moresby this morning. PNG, the first stop for the vessel on its Harmony Mission 2018. China's ambassador to Papua New Guinea, Xu Bing, welcomed the vessel's crew under the command of Mission Commander Rear Admiral Gwyn Bailin and Rear Admiral Quinn Wei.
We are here to welcome a ship for saving life, designed and built in China as a platform for emergencies, medical support, and ocean. The Ark Peace has made port calls to 37 countries around the world by providing humanitarian rescue and medical services to over 180,000 people.
Ark Peace mission is to strengthen international humanitarian aid and promote peace, development and cooperation. It is also one way of enhancing relations between China and PNG. PNG Defence Force Chief of Staff Philip Poliwara was part of the welcome delegation this morning. He also thanked Admiral Gwyn Bailin for accepting more PNG students to the Navy Medical Training College.
Like the donor and bilateral partner in terms of military, we have a lot more military students studying in China at the moment, and we requested, and Admiral, I thank you on behalf of the commander for accepting our request to accept extra students to study at your medical university in China.
Ark Peace is equipped with 2 landing aircrafts, 2 high-speed crafts, and 6 enclosed lifeboats. She also has transfer capabilities by means of helicopter and hanging baskets. With a medical facility that includes 8 operating rooms, 300 sick beds, 7 medical staff offices, 8 nurse stations, and 18 consulting rooms and more. It is a fully equipped floating hospital. This vessel will be in Port Moresby until next Wednesday. For city residents who may want to seek treatment aboard Ark Peace, they must pre-register at the PNGDF Tarama Military Hospital, Keruhu General Hospital, or visit Ben Moida Club. Adelaide Siraxkari, National EMTV News.
The Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority has initiated an APEC economic study for the cruise sector. Director for Policy and Planning, Alcinda Trawan, says this is part of PNG's participation in the APEC Tourism Working Group. PNG TPA wants to develop this sector to meet the increase in cruise ship numbers visiting the country each year. According to PNG TPA, 5 APEC economies, including Papua New Guinea, will contribute to the study. The study will cover cost-benefit analysis from cruise shipping, focused particularly in local communities. PNG TPA hopes to provide the project report to the APEC Tourism Working Group later this year. More than 50 local-level government presidents and intending candidates from the Western Highlands are concerned about changes to the electoral process for local-level government elections. Many have been presidents for more than 3 terms and have seen changes in the electoral process which they claim do not suit the people. The presidents are asking the Electoral Commissioner to change the voting and counting dates.
This is the second time presidents and councillors in Western Highlands Province have voiced their concerns, urging the Electoral Commission to change the one-day polling and counting to 2 different dates. Former Council Association Chairman for Western Highlands and Jiwaka Provinces, Paul Combe, says the same-day polling and declaration is likely to cause chaos in communities, especially in the Highlands region.
Alnabis biting all right as well. Alliance and Mibla Bushway, I think Missouri long line from Mibla, voters no candidate no Islam.
Last week, council presidents urged the national government to pay the outstanding allowances before conducting this LLG election. They say if outstanding allowances are not paid on time, they will boycott the LLG elections in the province, thus making it a failed election. They claim most have used their families' resources and money to gain people's trust and interest over time. However, they felt that the national government has seen no importance in their leadership role at the LLG level. Similar sentiments were also being raised by LLG presidents in Hela province, with threats to boycott the exercise there, as well as if allowances were not settled. Presidents in Western Highlands province say the government must do away with LLG presidents if they cannot cater for them financially through the budget.
Government me confusion. Why first thing only sends him law? Na law you know stop long time. One time tasol na bien sense him game. Some funny something to confuse him. Leaders belong this country, community level.
Electoral Commissioner Pateles Gamato recently responded, saying his office was doing its job in preparing for these elections at the LLG level. With the issues of outstanding allowances, the responsibility lies on the Department of Provincial and Local Level Government. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
World Population Day was celebrated today in Port Moresby, hosted by the Department of National Planning and Monitoring. The theme for this year's commemoration was Family Planning is a Human Right. Presentations and panel discussions were focused on the importance of family planning. A policy brief compiled by UNFPA was presented, outlining the cost-benefit analysis of family planning.
With this year's theme, Family Planning is a Human Right, World Population Day focused on how it was vital to empowering women, reducing poverty, and achieving sustainable development.
The theme, Family Planning is a Human Right, enshrines the game-changing realization that women and girls have the right to avoid the exhaustion, depletion, and danger of too many pregnancies too close together.
In empowering women and reducing of poverty, family planning has many economic benefits and allows citizens to enjoy other health services.
We know that access to voluntary family planning enables women to space their birth, benefiting both mothers and children's health.
The UNFPA presented a policy brief outlining the cost-benefit analysis of family planning. It showed that if the government invests in family planning services, it creates substantial cost savings by preventing unintended pregnancies and reduces the rate of maternal mortality.
Here are real cost savings for investing in family planning, and that really gets translated into real dollars that are saved from the public budget. And that's the case that we're trying to make.
A panel discussion was told that it was evident more awareness needed to be done on family planning around the country. This in addition to the need for more specific family planning funding from the government.
And when it comes to health programs, they come in broad program names. And family planning does not really stand out.
Health Minister Sir Pukatemu, in his closing address, said family planning was a matter of national security and assured those present that it remained key priority for the government.
And so when we look at it from that perspective, we must cascade our development priorities, the strategies and the activities. I think under the theme of as a nation, how do we progress?
Lilian Superakinea, National EMTV News.
The Supreme Court reference on the Public Money Management Regularization Act 2017 went before Chief Justice Salamo Injia on Monday this week, with all parties represented. The Ombudsman Commission had sought a Supreme Court reference on the PMMR Act, which came into effect on the 9th of April this year, transferring 90% of all government authorities' accounts to the Department of Finance. Parties to this Supreme Court reference include the Ombudsman Commission as the referrer, the Public Solicitor as first intervener, Secretary of National Judicial Staff Services as second intervener, Sheriff of the National Court and Supreme Court as fourth intervener, and the Attorney General as fifth intervener. The matter returns to court for further directions tomorrow. Here with National EMTV News, we go for a break and be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. This morning, Minister for Mining Johnson Tuke officiated at the opening of the Wafi Golpu Stakeholders Consultative Forum in Lae. The Wafi Golpu project is an underground gold and copper mine that will contribute over 16 billion kina to the country's economy. The forum is a two-day event organized by the national government to update stakeholders on the progress of this project.
The development forum of the Wafi Golpu project connected stakeholders, including the landowners from the three districts, Bulolo, UN Gulf and Lae. They gathered at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Indoor Stadium in Lae this morning for the official opening that was officiated by the Minister for Mining, Johnson Tuke. The purpose of the 2 days forum was to create an avenue for the stakeholders to consult and make decisions about the project.
We need to establish the relationship with the government and the people, and developer and the people, developer and government relationship. That has to be broadened, it has to be made known. And I'm also coming up with some provisions that I wanted the mining talk. The subject is mining talk. I wanted to disseminate that mining talk to almost everywhere in Papua New Guinea, how most of our minings are conducted.
The Wafi Golpu project is an underground gold and copper mine. It is located in the UN Gulf district in Morobe. It is a 16 million kina project and will operate for more than 20 years. The developers of the project are Newcrest and Harmony. A formal application of Wafi Golpu joint venture partners was submitted to the government last year.
We need to conduct our social mapping appropriately to identify the legitimate and imminent landowners. Because people in this case are coming up or mushrooming with so many landowner groups. So our government has to be very decisive. And in the ministry, I'm tasking my officers to conduct due diligence.
Member for Bulolo and Minister for Communications, Sam Basil, said there are pending issues with the Newcrest company at Eden Valley Gold Mine that affected its operations. Basil said these issues should be examined during the forum.
Now, to plus same partner, Oligonside law, main course now, and Wafi. So this main course only gone side too. Me member blow Bololo, but me run one time heavy blow, he didn't very stop here. But me come now talk to this forum because you may not can repeat him same mistake again.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
Eastern Britain's Warawagira and Mask Festival began today with the popular Kinavai dance in Kokopo early this morning. People gathered as early as 4 a.m. in the morning to see the arrival of the Tumbuans at dawn that marked the start of the festival. The Warawagira and Mask Festival is one of the biggest tourism events in the Eastern Britain provincial calendar that occurs from the 11th to the 15th of July each year. The festival will be a 4-day extravaganza of cultural dances, ritual performances, storytelling and exchange, with a variety of arts and craft on display. This year marks the 24th anniversary of the festival after its inception in 1995. Back to Morobe province, and frustrated Ahi landowners say they have been missing out on the decision-making process of the Wafi Golpu project. Today, they aired their frustrations to the Mining Minister Johnson Tuke at the Wafi Development Forum in Leh. Ahi spokesperson Holmes Kissing said the Ahi people deserve to be included because their land will also be impacted.
This is what happened today at the Wafi Development Forum in Leh. Frustrated Ahi landowners fronted the stage towards the end of the event, demanding an opportunity to speak. This was after 3 other landowner groups were given the chance to speak.
I represent the voiceless majority. These are the silent majority. These are my people.
Minister for Mining Johnson Tuke allowed the discussion to continue, saying it was the purpose of the forum. Ahi spokesperson Holmes Kissing said there should be equal participation in the forum, saying Ahi people have often been left out.
We are the majority landowners.
He argued that the project's proposed pipeline was to occupy their land, hence they should be included in discussions.
You are going to be using our land. You are going to be extracting our resources. Include us in the discussions. Include us in the developmental forums. Listen to our voices. Ask us what we want.
In attendance at the forum was Mining Minister Johnson Tuke, Morobe Governor Ginson Saonu, and Morobe MP Sem Basil, Thomas Pelika, Ross Seymour, Connie Iguan, Kennedy Wenge, and other government officials. In response, Mining Minister Johnson Tuke said these comments will be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Lord Tok you make him. You got processed loganista. Mix him Tok you finish. You got MRA-ista, you got ministry-ista, pamibla go through Logan.
Bulolo MP Sam Basil told the Ahi landowners that the provincial government will be looking into how the landowners were identified to sort out this problem.
You may not take advantage of this situation. You landowner, you stand up straight, now you make a claim for you must come with them true story, now true heart for you.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Leh.
Here with the news this Wednesday. We go for a break. When we come back, we take a look at stories making headlines overseas. Welcome back to National MTV News. Turning overseas now, the heroic efforts of truly epic proportions are being hailed right around the globe after the miracle rescue of all 12 Thai footballers and their coach. From mission impossible to mission accomplished, it's thumbs up from Thai Navy SEALs who were joined by an international all-star rescue team for the dangerous operation. And against all odds, the daring undertaking achieved its goal, an extraordinary happy ending to a story that's captivated the world for weeks.
Cheers on the streets of Chiang Rai. And relief for the hundreds toiling at the cave. This rescue that seemed beyond reach, completed.
It's our pride. It's a mission possible by the Team Thailand who made it happen.
Team Thailand, a multinational collaboration of life-saving experts, the best of the best. Their talents delivering all 12 of these boys, now safe, their friends and family delighted.
I want to hug them first. I want to cheer them on. I want to tell them how worried I've been.
I want to hug him, and I want to tell him that I'm happy.
The good news comes just as the sun sets over those mountains that have caused so much angst here in Thailand, and it feels like the country has been holding its collective breath. Now, after 2.5 weeks, it can finally exhale. What's the last 2.5 weeks been like for you and for Thai people?
An emotional roller coaster. There are ups, there are downs. Well, now it's basically everybody is feeling relief.
We're learning more about how these dramatic rescues played out. The boys were given anxiety medication to keep them calm. And their coach is understood to have been the weakest of them all after sharing the little food he had. These divers helped replenish the air tanks along the treacherous route.
We could just see our hands in front of our faces. The stones are razor sharp. It's quite emotional as a father. Everyone feels as if they're our children.
The latest survivors were airlifted to Chiang Rai, then cheered in by crowds lining the road to the hospital. The boys and their coach are being kept in isolation for now. They could have infections from dangerous bacteria often found in tropical caves. There's one which can enter the body through cuts and another which is found in bat droppings. It could be weeks before the boys show symptoms. But some have already seen their families through a glass screen. The father of the youngest boy, 11-year-old Chanine, is still waiting to be reunited, refusing to tidy his boy's room.
We want him to find it just the way it was.
It could be a week before the football team, known as the Wild Boars, leaves the hospital and gets back to doing what they love the most.
And it will go down as one of the most daring, well-executed rescues in generations. Here's a walkthrough the developments of the last 2.5 weeks.
Heroes all, the 90 divers who took part in the search and rescue included Thai Navy SEALs, British cave divers and other international experts. It has gripped the world's attention. The British Cave Rescue Council said 7 of its divers had been part of the core rescue team helping to bring the boys out.
They've done something that I think we all thought was barely possible, and they've pulled it off.
The challenge, getting the 12 boys and their coach 2.5 miles through these narrow, unflooded caves to safety. It began 17 days ago when the boys and their coach went missing. They'd gone to write their names on the walls of the cave. A huge international rescue operation began. They were alone for 9 days until found by 2 British cave divers. This was the moment.
Thank you. How many of you? 13? Yes. Brilliant.
On July the 6th, a former Thai Navy SEAL died while returning through the caves, underlying how perilous the rescue would be. Then, on Sunday, the first 4 boys were rescued. Each was accompanied by 2 expert divers for the 5-hour or more trek. Through the flooded sections, they were strapped underneath one of the divers, but in the narrowest part, just 38 centimetres wide, they had to squeeze through alone with their air tank in front of them. All the Thai Navy SEALs and the international divers are safely out. Mission accomplished before the monsoon rains will flood the caves for months to come.
And it was a truly international event for the rescue of the boys and their coach from deep inside the cave. It took a cast of heroes, divers, doctors and Navy SEALs, combining their talents and bravery for a seemingly impossible mission.
A hero's welcome for 4 Thai Navy SEALs. Wearing sunglasses after staying with the boys since they were found more than a week ago, it's a thumbs up, job done. But this was a huge operation made up of courageous efforts. British divers John Valenthin and Rick Stanton discovered the boys and led the expedition. Valenthin's mother watching it unfold from afar.
How much effort and teamwork, which is so important, it took to get them out. And thank God they're all out safe.
Heroism coming in all forms. In the cave, one of the boys, a Myanmar refugee, acted as an English translator. The coach, the weakest of the group, after sharing his food with the boys. Calls for him to be prosecuted are growing quiet after his efforts to keep them together and calm. And the hidden heroes, local engineers who attacked the greatest threat, diverting water away from the cave.
If the cave flooded, the oxygen level inside the chamber where the kids are is going to getting lower until they cannot breathe anymore.
Thai officials praising Australian Dr. Richard Harris, thought to be the last person out of the cave.
How good has he been?
They're good. Okay. They're best, not good. Just
the best.
Very best.
His celebration tinged by tragedy, learning of his father's death when he got out. And of course the man who made the greatest sacrifice, Saman Kunan, the 38-year-old former Thai Navy SEAL who lost his life, running out of oxygen after placing air tanks along the escape route. The impossible made possible by a vast array of talents in this cast of heroes. A historic rescue achieved in the most dramatic of circumstances.
To other news now, US President Donald Trump has arrived in Brussels for the NATO summit, where he'll meet with key European allies. But it won't be a warm welcome, with Trump warned by the President of the European Council to stop criticizing European leaders.
Today, President Trump on the move and on the offensive, attacking the very people he's off to meet.
NATO has not treated us fairly, but I think we'll work something out. We pay far too much, and they pay far too little.
Even a mile high on Air Force One, the attacks on America's allies didn't let up. The president tweeting, many countries in NATO, which we're expected to defend, are not only short of their current commitment, but are also delinquent for many years in payments that haven't been made. Will they reimburse the US? It's true that some NATO countries aren't yet spending the agreed upon amounts for their own defense. But the president's persistent claim they owe the US money is false.
I'll see NATO and I'm going to tell NATO, you got to start paying your bills. The United States is not going to take care of everything.
But the president's tone today sharply different when he spoke of his upcoming meeting with Vladimir Putin.
I have NATO, I have the UK, which is in somewhat turmoil, and I have Putin. Frankly, Putin may be the easiest of them all. Who would think?
American intelligence agencies say Putin interfered in the 2016 election, but the president still doesn't seem to accept that.
Mr. President, would you say Vladimir Putin is a friend or a foe?
I really can't say right now. As far as I'm concerned, a competitor. It's a competitor.
Today, from the president of the European Council, a stern warning.
Dear America, appreciate your allies. After all, you don't have that many.
In the past, crowds lined British streets to hail the US president, not condemn their core values. They were given the highest state honours. But here's how Trump's visit compares.
His Majesty the King awaits the arrival of the President of the United States. The King and President exchange the warmest of greetings.
And this is how it used to be. British crowds cheering American presidents, like John F. Kennedy and his wife in 1961.
Something not even the cabinet could have planned is the 500,000 people lining the route from London Airport to the West End just to cheer a hello to Jack and Jackie.
Note that, 500,000 people. In the past, presidents were often close to the royal family. In 1959, President Eisenhower was invited to spend the night at Balmoral, the first and only to be given such an honour. In 1982, President Reagan got to stay at Windsor Castle and go for a ride. Donald Trump will have to make do with a cup of tea with the Queen. But there are risks. After a dinner here in 1977, President Carter said goodbye to the Queen Mother by kissing her full on the lips, something that apparently hadn't happened since the King died in 1952. I took a sharp step backwards, she recalled later. Not quite far enough. Another privilege not offered to President Trump is an invitation to attend cabinet, like Bill Clinton in 1997.
I'm not going to give any advice, I'm going to sit here and take it.
Nor is this week's trip a full state visit. Barack Obama was only the second president to get one of those in 2011, when he flipped burgers at a Downing Street barbecue and had the rare privilege of addressing MPs and peers.
I am told that the last 3 speakers here have been the Pope, Her Majesty the Queen, and Nelson Mandela, which is either a very high bar or the beginning of a very funny joke.
The challenge for the government is to try to make this week's visit as warm as those in the past. It may not be easy.
Here with National EMTV News, we go for another break. When we come back, Trukai Sports, we will review and preview the World Cup when we return. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with the Football World Cup, and France have advanced to their 3rd ever World Cup final after a strong defensive display against neighbours Belgium. The 1-0 win showing off all their credentials as they chase their 2nd World Cup title.
For all the attacking might on display, it was a defender who sealed the first semi-final.
Kick it Umtiti! Arriving on the near post! There's the breakthrough! It's Samuel Umtiti for France!
Samuel Umtiti rising highest for his first goal of the tournament and crucially the only goal of the match. But that's not to say the 90 minutes lacked any action, with both keepers forced to produce crucial saves throughout the game.
Done Pavard! And the leg legs of goalkeeper Courtois to the rescue.
But Belgium, the tournament's most prolific goal scorers coming into this match, couldn't find a way through a rock-solid French defence. Belgian threat Romelu Lukaku only managed 22 touches on the ball throughout the match, the least of any starting player. Captain and talisman Eden Hazard once again showed flashes of brilliance, but his golden generation's time is up, at least for another 4 years. It speaks volumes when Hazard leaves the pitch as the second most talked about number 10. French teenager Kylian Mbappe once again showing his credentials on the biggest stage of all, with his skill and vision unlucky to have not led to more French goals. Although his time-wasting abilities didn't go down quite so smoothly.
Blatant time-wasting.
Belgium can still record their best ever finish at a World Cup if they win their third-place playoff on Sunday. But right now, that's little consolation for a team that showed so much promise. Didier Deschamps now has the chance to become only the third person to lift the trophy as both player and coach, as France danced their way into the final in a way only the French could.
And dreams of World Cup glory and a bit of anxiety will surely kick in for a restless night's sleep this evening for England and Croatia. The winner of this match to play France in the grand final of the world's biggest sport premier tournament. And here's how England's progress has united a nation.
England win!
They've been the revelation of Russia 2018. England have defied low expectations at this World Cup. Their biggest win at a major tournament, a knockout victory after 12 years, even ending their penalty jinx. Now they stand on the verge of the final. And whatever happens here in Moscow, the manager believes the success of this young, diverse team has helped bring the nation together.
Our country has been through some difficult moments recently in terms of its unity, and I think sport has the power to do that, and football in particular has the power to do that. And so for us, we can feel the energy and we can feel the support from home, and that's a very special feeling. It's a privilege for us.
The last time England reached a final was 1966, and we all know what happened then. One member of that World Cup winning squad is confident.
We can frighten anybody, and defensively we look good. So overall, I think we've got a chance. You know, we're going to bring this home.
Meanwhile, some of the estimated 10,000 England fans expected here are starting to arrive, many still without tickets.
Booked the flights, went on the website and just kept crashing.
I think all it does is open up the black market, and as many people are listening are selling them. We've been offered about 100 tickets within about the last 20 minutes.
This was the soundtrack to England's last semi-final appearance at a World Cup. Amid a summer heatwave, memories of Italia 90 and what might have been now suddenly evoked. For a generation, that was as good as it got. The challenge facing this team to go one better.
And we'll continue with more of Trukai Sport after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. This week, High Performance Sports PNG celebrated its 4th anniversary. Established in 2014 specifically for the 2015 Pacific Games, the project has continued to help develop sportsmen and women and elite athletes with training, dieting, exercise, fitness and strength and conditioning. Vice Sports Minister Wesley Ramenai and Sports Foundation CEO Peter Chiamalili Jr. were part of the celebrations.
With its motto, driving the change for a culture of excellence, High Performance Sport PNG was developed to provide vital sports support services for PNG athletes in preparations for the 2015 Pacific Games. With government support, PNG's athletes were able to meet international standards through training at High Performance Centre. Since the 2015 Pacific Games, PNG Sports Foundation and other donor partners have continued to ensure that the project has continued despite tough economic times. Vice Sports Minister Wesley Ramenai says the program has become an integral part of the development of elite athletes, coach education programs and others. On behalf of the project, Director Aaron Alsop thanked the government for continuing to invest significantly in sports in recent years. Godwin Eki, National, EMTV Sports.
To athletics, and Sharon Quarula travels to London tomorrow for the International Association of Athletics Federation Women in World Athletics Seminar. From the Oceania region, Quarula was selected along with Kiribati Eribata Tewa to attend the seminar. Also joining them will be New Zealander Annette Purvis and 3 other Oceania delegates. They will join their counterparts from Europe, Africa, Asia and the Americas. The seminar aims to support the delivery of the IAAF and Oceania area's minimum gender targets by providing aspiring female leaders with excellent networking opportunities and established relationships with mentors to assist in their own personal development. To tennis abroad, and Kiwi double star Michael Venus is 1 win away from another Grand Slam final after he and his partner Raven Carson pulled off a thrilling win in Wimbledon in front of a 10,000 strong crowd at the most famous tennis court.
And with that, Michael Venus and South African partner Raven Klaasen secured themselves a spot in the Wimbledon semi-final.
Still can't really quite believe it.
4 hours and 15 minutes earlier, the Kiwi had walked out onto the hallowed grass of centre court.
This is the first time a Kiwi has played here on centre court since 1993, when James Greenhalgh and Stephen Downes won the boys' doubles final.
It's a really special court, and to be able to have this moment out there, it's something that I will remember.
He'll remember too the 5-set seesaw marathon as one of his best, made up of 3 epic tie-breaks.
Got down a break in the second set and found a way back and felt like we kind of stole the second set.
And that they did. The third set looked to be heading to another epic tie-break at 5 games apiece before Brit Jamie Murray and Brazilian Bruno Soares seized the advantage to lead 2-1. Venus and Klaasen choosing to attack the deciding set, their positive approach paying off as they stretched out to a 5-2 lead before closing it out 6-4.
Oh, my heavens.
Fellow Kiwi Artem Setak wasn't as lucky in his first ever Grand Slam quarterfinal, losing 3 sets to 1.
I am very disappointed that we lost. I thought we could have won that.
For Venus, though, an unseeded pair are now the only obstacle in the way to being back at this court for a second Grand Slam final.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for a break. When we come back, the weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. We begin in the southern region, mostly fine for Port Moresby, fine and windy for Daru, cloudy periods expected in Kerma, rain and windy weather for Alotau, rain and drizzle in Popondetta. To the Momasa region, rain and drizzle expected in Lae, Wau and Madang, cloudy at times for Wewak, a shower or 2 for Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, squally rain expected in Lorangau, a few showers in Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka, a shower or 2 as well for Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, all the major centres, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundia, Mendi and Wabe can expect some rain drizzle tonight with early morning fog developing. A look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. But first, there is a strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point, to all Milne Bay Islands to Finchafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait to Siasi Island to Long Island and West New Britain to Manus and its western group of islands including the Coral, Solomon and Bismarck Seas. There's also a gale wind warning current for all coastal waters through Vitias and Dampier Strait to Siasi Island to Long Island and the western part of West New Britain into the Bismarck Sea. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point, Samarai Island, and with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands and waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to Finchafen, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Finchafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait to Siasi Island to Long Island, seas 3 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Long Island to Madang and Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo, and the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, with waters of West New Britain seas 2.5 to 3 meters. And waters of East New Britain and New Ireland to Bougainville seas 1.5 to 2 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea sees rough with southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots. Solomon Sea sees rough with southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots. Bismarck Sea sees very rough with southeasterly winds at 34 to 48 knots. And the Pacific Ocean sees slight with northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And before we go, a recap of our top stories this evening. Chinese Navy ship Ark Peace arrives as part of Mission Harmony 2018. World Population Day focuses on family planning, and opening of the Wafi Golpu Stakeholder Consultative Forum in Leh, Morbe Province. And that's the way it is this Wednesday, the 11th of July 2017. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night. We leave you with pictures from the opening of the Warbagira Festival in Kokobo early today.